nothing wrong with your television set. Do not attempt to adjust the picture. We are controlling transmission. If we wish to make it louder, we will bring up the volume. If we wish to make it softer, we will tune it to a whisper. We will control the horizontal. We will control the vertical. We can roll the image, make it flutter. We can change the focus to a soft blur, or sharpen it to crystal clarity. For the next hour, sit quietly and we will control all that you see and hear. We repeat, there is nothing wrong with your television set. You are about to participate in a great adventure. You are about to experience the awe and mystery which reaches from the inner mind to 420.
Bow round bud, he's my mighty puppy. Sir, bow round bud. Sir, bow round.
Wait.
Sir. You slept.
system has been activated. Option to override self-destruct expires in 10 minutes.
Sir.
The world is flat. I'm here to ring the alarm with my puppet like charm, straight from the barn. I'm talking about Flat Earth Farms, cause most don't know. They think we live on a globe, a ball that floats. So listen and take notes, and take it to a higher plane. Imagine yourself in all it contains, in all its glory, and Flat Earth Farms can take you there. Open your mind outside the box. No more staring at NASA's Photoshop. No more moon landings, no lying to ya. No more people standing backwards in Australia. Just facts and pure truth, planning straight to the roots. Flat Earth Farms help you understand. A magical place on a wondrous land.
The world is flat, and that's a fact. Tell your friends next time you chat. Let them know a ball ain't that. Let's stay playing with the baseball bat. Cause we coming at the barn, a higher place, the Flat Earth Farm.
Anti
Have you been feeling sad most of the time, losing interest in things you once cared about? You may be experiencing these and other symptoms that are difficult to understand. These symptoms are worth exploring with a doctor. Learn
it's flat. They lie to us on the news every single day. It's all lies. It's all lies. It's all fake. It's all lies.
If we agreed to bend over on command.
What's up? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
I can't get no
I can
sound.
hear you now. I can hear you now.
Hold on one sec.
Uh-oh.
I can't get no sound out of him. That just now when I was playing the music, could you hear it?
The Levelhead song, yeah.
The Levelhead song, but you couldn't hear the other one, right?
Where we were showing the old world buildings.
At first you could, right?
Jacoby,
No,
can
I
you
can
get on?
hear
Can you get on that? Jacoby, can you fix that?
at first, yeah, but not at the end.
I know it's weird. Let me try it again.
Like it was after that ad played,
Right.
then it muted.
I know. The ad fucked me up. All right, I got it back. All right.
I'm sending Jacoby over to you right now to help.
All right, don't worry about it.
Okay, Ray?
All right, we got this.
Yeah. Phil House. Let's go.
They don't call it work for nothing. You see that shit and wanna be it, but couldn't cook up the mustard. Stupid little fucker. Everybody wanna rap now, but jump shit when it get bad, then they fall back to the background. Try and spit for groupies, you ain't built for this kid, you pussy. I pick them off like Billy Zane, fuck your bitch like Billie Jean. Till she claims she caught my seed and leave your ass for bigger things. That fat lady bell in front of the balcony. It's over for any clown that wanna challenge me. Every line's another Calvary, followed up with powder cakes. Hang them in my gallery, posterized like out in history. Eat foods like calories, vagabonds, I'm Jack the Ripper. You love that trick, dog, and I barely tip her. Fuck around and play the skipper. Fickle frauds can kiss the zipper. Skip around with a stick so big from home plate I can hit the pitcher. Every single day I'm on my grind on the business end. Every other day you in the line like you killing shit. Then there come a day when I put you out your misery. Don't catch that fade, motherfucker. Think I'm playing with you, yeah, they acting gay for attention, that's ridiculous. You look like a lady with that choker chain like he a stripper. I'm just to chill with the aristocrats. Cop a deal from South and Salad, pop a pill and rocks and blasts is going down like Richie Valens. I can stand on my own too, the whole truth, fuck you, pavement. Yeah. And ain't shit that you gon' do, your whole crew can catch that facelift. I tell them like, move, you better back off. Bitch, we some inglorious bastards. The faculty charged up an assault and battery with battering rams strapped to cannons that'll reach North Korea.
Yo, we're here. Finally.
Yep.
It was like a 40-minute intro. I had to get ready. How we doing? We got
Oh, it was good. I just got done sharing this around.
Exactly. We needed time to get the show together. I had to do the same thing. Good job. We only have 3 people here. It's all right. They'll start showing up. I don't care. I need to get the show done anyway. Jonathan Compla, Moja Shop. What's up? Scott. Cindy D. How you doing? All right. Well, yeah. Now we got 5 people. I don't know. It's late at night. So I'm going to take a different route that I took last night. I'm still going to get the same amount of work done that I was going to do, but I'm going to take a different route. All right. Let me start off with this stuff. Okay. No, it's the same one. Hold on. All right. 1, 2. This one. Yep. All right. All right. Maybe this one. I think it might be right here. Yeah. All right. So here's a few videos from Vibes of Cosmos that we're going to get into real quick, because this is kind of like what we're going to be talking about a little bit. I'm trying to get into Hyperborea, but there's a lot to it. The North Pole. All right. So let's see. Big cycle. All right. All right. Stars, regions, and black sun. So some people think the black sun is like right underneath the center, which is, we're not sure if it's the center or not. You see the coil underneath? Let me read that real quick. The celestial electromagnetic dome where the stars are captured is divided into the inner region where it is observed from northern places of the Earth. You see? It's like a coil underneath, a magnetic coil. And the outer region where it is observed clearly from far southern Earth's places. So this is the moon map. This is a reflection of the greater realm. And what's going on is this lines up with the astronomical clocks. That's why they're off a little bit and they have a little circle like over to the side. Well, it's like that. This is the part of the flat earth where we live. All this extra stuff right here on the other side, on the left, is extra lands that they're either hiding from us, they're underwater, they were here and they got flooded, or it's beyond the ice wall where we can't get. So this is interesting. The moving source that causes the cosmic energy working like a Tesla coil, depending on where the center of excitation is, creates different angles every moment, making the constellations rotate around the pole star at a certain speed. It also captures the sun and the moon in different positions so that we also have their movement with different relative speeds. These movements are described in the Antikythera mechanism. Okay, now that's taking it back. The Antikythera mechanism. That's that thing they found, like one of the first early machines. So as the source moves spirally in its spirals, it creates every moment different conditions of incidence of the cosmic radiation from bottom to top. So, yeah. All right. All right. So there's one video. Here's another video about it. This is big cycle in the magnetic north shift. Okay. Sky, right? At the moon. This is a reflection, okay? A reflection of the earth, of the dome, looking down. All right? But it's a mirror image because it's a reflection. And it was frozen in plasma, they think maybe like 200,000 years ago or something. So that's why it shows all these other lands. It's a composite, which means it's an X-ray image. So it shows our greater realm. This pot right here is like basically like, like the flat earth that we know, the part of the earth that we live in. And as we go through the different ages, it moves around and the climates change, and they know about it. The controllers know about this, right? They know about the astronomical clocks. That's why they destroyed them. They know about the moon map, and what they're trying to do is they're using climate change against us when they know exactly where it's going to change and what's going to happen as we go through the different ages. It takes a long time, like thousands and thousands. And look, Earth and sick,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hey,
Go ahead.
listen though. I just had a thought.
What's up?
This explains a lot to me because
Me too.
I've
I
been
love it.
having like this feeling like I should move north and like not just north but like northwest, and like that's what I'm doing because I just felt like really strong urge to do it. And I was right because like it's gonna get warmer up here and it's gonna get colder down there.
Is that what's happening? You did the right.
They
You
got
made
a taste of it. They got a taste of it. I think last week it was, wasn't
you
it?
made
When
you
that
made the
Arctic
you
thing
made the
came
right
through.
move. You made the right move. Yeah, and what in New York? I didn't get hit though, Jenny. It didn't get hit. Knock on wood. I don't know. Is it over? Is it still? It might still show up here. When something happens in New York, it happens here like
Yeah.
4 days late.
Well, it's not going to be. It's not going to be that soon. But you know what I mean.
No,
I'm
it's
just
like
saying.
4 days
Yeah.
away. Like whatever happens in New York happens here 4 days
No,
later.
no. I'm saying about the shifting of the
Yeah. Oh
realm.
yeah. Yeah. It doesn't happen that fast. We ain't gonna notice
Yeah,
it.
yeah. It's not that fast. I
It's
was
over like 42,000 years or something crazy. But you see
Hello,
that?
warriors.
42,000 years. That's like the whole cycle.
Well, yeah. Right. I'm right though about the 42,000 years. I'm right about that number, right, Jenny?
But
You heard it.
each age I think is like 21 or 2,200 years, something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
That's each age.
And each
But
cycle.
that's a whole age. The whole
Yeah.
age, a whole age is like I think 2,200 years.
Yeah.
So it shifts, but it shifts slowly. It slowly moves it like inches. You
And
know what
they
I mean?
know it. And they're calling
Yeah.
it climate change
And
and
it
using
is it
and
is
using it to
becoming
control us.
noticeable because Antarctica is melting and and there's other things that are showing up too.
There's islands popping up. See, there's the clock. Look, that's the astronomical clock. Look, it lines up perfect with the moon map. You see
Oh, you know
that?
what else this explains? In the
Yeah.
Bible it says and the the mountains will become like valleys and the valleys will be lifted up and then the islands will flee away.
And the islands
This
will
kind of a shift, this kind of a shift can
yeah.
explain that.
The islands will what is it? The
Will
islands
flee away. They'll flee
will
away.
fall into the sea. All right. What's up, Forever Love? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Calm down, commercial. I like the treehouse, though. I'd live in there. All right, so we got. All right, Star Regions. All right, here's the one that Jenny likes, from Pisces to Aquarius. So this is about the, the shifting of the ages, real quick. So real quick. All right, so we took care of that. All right, so this is hold on. I just want to finish what I was doing here with the 1, 2, 3, 5. All right, I got a bunch of links to go. All right, so this is my buddy's channel. This is I See Clearly. He's done. You see, I.see clearly. He's good. Sub him. So basically, he does like this whole thing about the Taurus field. I'm looking for it. He has a lot of videos.
You can't get in there on that other phone.
What's up?
Oh yeah.
Huh?
Hold on.
We only have one link for you, Ray. I can't
right.
get her on her other phone yet, though.
Take your time. It's all right, man. I got a whole bunch of stuff, so it's all good.
Cool.
I'm ready to go. So, all right, let me just see something.
I guess what he's saying is maybe you could send a link to either his phone or my other phone so that he can like be able to I guess put stuff in the private chat.
Yeah, I can. Just give me. Let me just play this for now.
You need him to send
no
it
big hurry.
to your phone, right?
Whose
to your
phone?
phone?
He needs a link to his phone.
The link. Where do you need the link sent to? Your phone. Yeah, his phone, not my phone number. His phone number.
All right, I'll send it to him. Give me 1 second. All right, so I'm just trying to see. So let's see what this says. I'm trying to see where it started because I know I got unsub to him. All right, so check this out. Like he shows you how like the shape is everywhere. Watch from the Taurus field.
Oh, hold on, Ray.
What's up?
Listen. Dana said, she said Micah 1:4, and the mountains shall be molten under him, and the valleys shall be cleft as wax before the fire, and as the waters that are poured down a steep place. I just thought that was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, I got the images from Logan too. I just sent him the link. All right, so
Okay.
Right. Yeah, so I got a video that goes like in between the area where we are and where that video or where that image is. Just so that I got it covered.
Well, first I want to show the I want to show this right here. You see? Do you see what it's? Do you see what this is trying to show? It's showing you the same thing. Look, the middle, the center. That's where all the light comes from. Like the watch, you'll see. All the torus field of the Earth and everything else. It's like a giant torus field. That's what he's trying to show. Watch. He doesn't usually have much sound. I could put music to his videos, but I kind of want to explain it. So we are inside this thing. Look, the focal point. It's the same shape as in everything. The way it starts in the middle and it comes out. Look, it's a torus field. See, even in the dome, they show it. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. If you look for it, it's there. There's the torus field right there. You see? It's coming straight out of the center. Well, it might not be the center, but it's coming out of Hyperborea. That's why when you see the northern lights in the sky, it might be Hyperborea bouncing off the top of the dome. Look at this. All right. This could be truth in plain sight. You see this eye nebula? This eye nebula that they show us? Right? Well,
Hold on.
Some people, this is an image that's put out by NASA, obviously, right? The eye nebula. Okay? But if you look at it closely, right? It looks like it has a circle with a dome around it. And it looks like you're looking at it from the top. Do you see that? Does everybody see what I'm talking about? The eye nebula actually looks like a dome with a circle inside.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe NASA's trying to put some truth in plain sight with that. I don't know. So this just shows you how it's like north, south. It's all, how he's basically trying to break down how it works.
I never went. I only went in back there.
Uh-oh.
Why'd I mess it up?
No. Oh. I thought I lost my other phone.
So he's just showing you how it could work with magnets and like water. It's in every shape. It's in the jellyfish. It's in the eye. It's everything that's made here. Like the eye nebula, the top of the dome. Flowers. The flowers have the same shape. It's like the Fibonacci sequence. It's in everything. The king's crown represents it. The torus field. The corona. Get it? The crown, the corona.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see it's in the jellyfish. It's everywhere. If you look, it's everywhere. Look, it's in the flower. It's the shape of the torus field, which creates everything, pretty much from the center. Maybe it's the center. There might be more than one torus field. We don't know. I mean, I think it's the center, but see, it's in the flowers. It's in everything. Yeah, he just shows his stuff, and he's awesome. He's totally awesome. He sees clearly. He really does. He sees clearly. So this is why the stars wobble. Gyromagnetic precession. This guy's advanced. This guy's highly advanced. So he basically thinks it's a big projection in the sky. The sun, the moon, the stars will disappear. The sky will split in two and roll up like a scroll.
Oh yeah, I was just thinking about that a little while ago.
The earth will wear the crown, the corona. Yeah.
I think what's gonna happen when what the Bible's talking about, where it says the sky will roll back like a scroll.
Yeah.
And then Jerusalem is gonna come down. Well, I think we're like within a dome. We're within a dome that's within the firmament.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that the inner dome is going to be taken away. It's going to be folded back. So it will, like, all the lands will be opened up.
It'll be like a sunroof.
It's like the whole earth will be opened up. The whole realm of the earth will be opened up.
And then like elevator music will start pouring through.
We'll have access to the whole of earth.
The elevator music will pour through the hole and cover the earth with elevator music. And
yes, truth speaker in Oz. Thank you. Someone give that person a wrench. Where that you get a wrench for that comment? Where are you?
Watch how this folds out. You can keep folding. Things can fold.
You get a wrench. Someone finally can see what I'm doing. Thank you. I tried to do this last night too, and I fell asleep in the middle of it. But it's all right. We're going to get it done tonight. We're going a different route. We're going to play all the sleepy stuff at the end. So if I fall asleep,
Listen.
Fold it in many different shapes.
This is the verse I was looking for earlier.
It always goes back to that one.
Read it, Jenny. I got to use the bathroom.
Revelation 6:14. And the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places. Thank you, Dana. Yeah, I was thinking about that earlier. Do y'all hear that echo? No, I got the other phone muted.
Don't matter. You got to get out of the hole. Yeah, keep it. Take it out. Oh.
What you got, Singe?
No problem, truth speaker in Oz. Welcome to the show. But yeah, this is what I'm trying to do here. I've been trying to show this for a few nights now. I know about the toroidal field. I know what's going on. I haven't been able to put it into a visual presentation until now. I'm starting to figure out exactly how to show it. I've been trying to figure out in my head how I could show you guys this information without falling asleep like I did last night. So You know, everybody falls asleep on the late night. It's not just it's a joke, but you know, it's not so funny once it happens to you. You know what I mean?
Hey, next time it happens, you want me to show you what I'll do next time it happens?
I want you to eliminate me. Yeah, I want you to just take me out next time it happens.
Hey,
Just
you want me to play you an example? You want me to like play an example?
What you can you? All right, wait until this video's done though. Wait until this video because it's only like 2 more minutes, like 1 minute.
Oh, okay, I'll wait.
All right, as soon as this, hold on. I don't know. He's showing the toroidal failure. It's on the design on the elephants too. It's in everything. It's in the artwork. You know, the patterns everywhere we look. Boom. Elephants are cool.
Elephants are really smart.
Yeah, they're cool, man.
They go back to where someone died, when one of their people died.
So he's predicting the death of he's predicting the death of the sun, guys.
Mourn.
Nothing is as old as you think it is.
They're dead, dude. That's how smart they are. They mourn their mothers and stuff. Crazy. Cool.
Learn how to survive off the land. All right. So, Jenny, go ahead. What were you gonna do, Jenny?
Well, if I could find it.
Now you lost it. It's all right. Don't worry about it.
Oh no, I found it. I found it.
Go for it.
You slept.
Warning, self-destruct has been activated. Option to override self-destruct expires in 10 minutes.
All right. So this is a pole shift. Pole shift. Ready?
Yeah.
Hey, Jenny, is that the link right there that Machine Head's trying to get in? The one that he just put in the chat right there?
Yeah.
No.
No.
Put it in the live chat.
All right. We'll play it. We'll play yours on the next video. You put it in the private chat, you said?
Yeah.
All right. We're going to get back to this too. See, looking down on Earth. When the light source moves, the color of the light changes. Damn. Did my phone just die on me? Oh, did my phone just shit the bed? This guy's some sort of a teacher or something. I know he is. So the sunlight gives color to the gases in our sky. This is a side view. You can see the toroidal field right there from the side. It's pretty cool. I like it. A magnet has no poles. Earth is not a magnet, but it is polarized in matter. Redshift equals north. Blue shift is south. So we could tell by the color of the light what way we're shifting. If we were shifting, which we probably are. Yeah, we are. When the sky rolls up like a scroll. There you go again. When the sun and moon and stars disappear. They are taking control of the population for a reason. So he's connecting the whole thing to everything. Stop believing everyone's nonsensical opinions. So he's showing you pretty much how lightning strikes up. You know, the lightning strikes up. It comes from the middle. All right. We'll get back to him. All right. So yours right here, Logan. All right. What's this? Uncharted territory. All right. Let's check this out. Oh, go full screen with it.
Maps. Knowing where we are on this earth. Powerful information that opens up new worlds. 200 years ago, Canadian explorer, fur trader and surveyor David...
I don't know if I'll be able to play this. Because, oh shit, let me see. Where is it from? KS Public TV? Maybe. We might be able to...
You should be able to. It's fair use. Go to like 29 minutes or something.
All right. Just because it's from TV, they might cut the stream. Wait, let me see. Yeah. Oh yeah. Shit. If it has these people in it, they're not gonna let me play it.
Yeah, don't then, because it's only just like a short. It shows like where we're at and gotta show videos where they like couldn't go any further.
Where does it show that?
In the early 1800s, like when a bunch of shit melted.
I'm saying, do you know what, like, where on the video it is? Like,
yeah, it was at like 29 and a half minutes, 30 minutes. Like it was.
All right, let me try. All right, let's see what it says right here.
Right, 29 minutes then.
The river, over sharp rocks.
Was this it?
Blackburn with a friend. Portage, Kootenay Falls.
Is this the part that you were talking about?
Tribal trail Thompson's party used so many years ago.
We're basically seeing the same things.
What's up? I'm gonna take the sound off so we can talk. What'd you say?
That's where I've had the pictures where those falls were. That was the only way they could get across to get to the Pacific. and they almost made it.
So
So that's like
Hyperborea is near you, is what you're trying to say.
that's the very bottom of it where you see that. We'll see that on the other map. I'm thinking when it floats around, it floats right around there because that's Glacier Park right around there where stuff's just been melted the last 150 years.
Wow. Hold on, let me skip through it a little bit more.
Oh yeah, the natives have all the land. The natives know where to go, where those rivers.
You have a lot of Native Americans over near you, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you got your typical, mountain scene. See, we're right there. Boom. That's where we're homestead right there. Like,
nice. You guys are nice and secluded.
Yeah. They went back up into Canada. They didn't quite make it.
I'm just skipping through as fast as I can because I don't want them to cut the stream. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
I got I'm not sure about playing this. I have a bunch
Those
of stuff.
natives hadn't been there that long. It just looks funny to me. Like, a lot of that stuff had just melted. Like,
yeah, I feel you. All right, so let me see what I got.
Like during the mud flood, that's where it came from.
Yeah.
You want some mud? Here's some.
Let me see what I got here. All right. What's this? All right, we already did that. I'm just trying to keep track of where I'm at. Maybe here. No. Okay, even more further down. Okay, start here then. All right, yeah, here we go. Here's the one that Singeman. Here's one that Singeman found on Hyperborea. That will probably explain things. All right, this one will be good. We can watch this one without worrying about them killing me. All right, let me put us on the bottom.
Welcome. This presentation will be on the Phoenicians and the Hyperboreans. This video will elaborate more on the ancient Irish connections that I have made in previous videos. This presentation is based and inspired by Michael Tarsarian's work, Irish Origins of Civilization. I want to start off by saying that I'm not a scholar. You shouldn't take my words for fact. Just consider the subject matter with deep thought and no judgment. Try to let go of your conceptions of the speaker and also your conceptions of reality. Most of what will be said will be considered out of the norm of traditional mainstream history, but even some people who consider themselves to be alternative researchers still find some of the content I'm presenting hard to believe. The subject at hand really takes critical thinking to connect all the dots. We've been fed lies most of our life, and it's not surprising that we have no idea who we are or where most of our cultures came from. My goal of this presentation is to help start others on their journey of curiosity and critical thinking when it comes to human origins, cosmology, and ancient antiquity. What we have today is a culture who's constantly manipulated by alternative mainstream research. Most people actually believe that ancient aliens on TV is alternative research, when this is obviously propaganda to blind the people who actually think about the subject matter. Ancient Aliens doesn't want you to know our true history, and they definitely don't want you to know the true builders of the pyramids. I mean, come on, this is on the History Channel. With Pawn Stars? Yeah, that ain't real history. I think with that said, we shall begin the presentation. At the end of the day, all I can say is that you must do your own research. The suppression of consciousness. Today, when we look at the majority of the population, what do we see? I mean, can we truly say that we're a culture that understands its past? In Plato's Timaeus, Solon is told by one of the priests in Egypt that they didn't even know where they came from. If the Greeks didn't know where they came from, what does that say about us? Today's people literally are incapable of thinking. We have the masses who are in groupthink, and anyone who thinks outside of the box gets whipped back into shape. America's ruled by corporations, and if corporations can be psychopathic, then what does that say about the media or the education system? It becomes obvious that empires can also become blind with the right to conquest. Why is it so crazy to believe that history can be rewritten? Everyone is in a trance-like state because all of the constant entertainment from every angle. None of us are taught to be masters of the mind. All of our thoughts are out of control, and we have people who suffer from boredom. which is a complete detachment from self-purpose and drive. Everyone's mind is overstimulated on serotonin from social media. Then we have coffee, porn, and unhealthy diets all contributing to the inability to have deep thought. I think it's obvious that we aren't taught to be philosophical or to question the nature of reality. From Manly P. Hall's The Secret Teaching of All Ages, Pythagoras conceived mathematics to be the most sacred and exact of all the sciences, and demanded of all who came to him for a study and a familiarity with arithmetic, music, astronomy, and geometry. He laid special emphasis upon the philosophic life as a prerequisite to wisdom. Pythagoras was one of the first teachers to establish a community wherein all the members were of mutual assistance to one another in the common attainment of the higher sciences. This is what I believe it was like in Tartaria, or Atlantis, or pre-Diluvian times. The higher sciences, philosophy, and the understanding of reality were very prevalent in every
Bobby
individual in that
Marley.
society. We see the complete opposite today. Atlantis and the deluge. The story of Sumer and the idea that civilization arose in the Middle East but 5,000
Bobby
years
Marley,
ago
that sounds
is not
familiar.
the true story of civilization. In the Vedas, we have stories talking about how mankind goes back millions of years. We hear of flying ships called vimanas and stories of ancient wars with high-tech weaponry. Many cultures have myths of floods, and there are many submerged underwater cities that still have a mystery to be solved. Michael Cremo is also a great reference for this idea. He has many books that talk about this idea that the story of civilization and mankind goes way back than we could ever imagine. In this theory, Atlantis was a great continent in the Atlantic that after some great cataclysm was destroyed. The civilization at the time was very advanced, not just in technology, but in magic and the knowledge of the self. The Atlanteans were said to be sun worshippers, and this makes sense with what the priest said in Plato's Timaeus. Our sciences are hoary with age, meaning they didn't come up with their sciences. It was passed down. Now, a group of the inhabitants of Atlantis avoided the cataclysm and sailed east, where they landed in Ireland and northern Spain. Ireland and Spain used to be one, Hibernia. This is the explanation of where and how civilization came to the east and then to the rest of the world. Atlantis was destroyed, and humanity was scattered and lost around the world, but there was one advanced group containing the knowledge of sun worship and the sciences who landed in ancient Ireland, Spain, and they began their journey to re-educate the world that at the time had been very primitive. From Donnelly's Atlantis. In their great missionary pilgrimage, they circled the globe in order to give religion and knowledge of God to the different races of mankind. They also established priesthoods and gave alphabets to the races who were unenlightened in such matters up to that time. Ireland is the country in which the arts and sciences were first discovered and developed. To this country, the Greeks apply the term Ogia, a term which is never given but to the very ancient, and it is from the Irish, Aryans, that the Greeks trace their descent. The Irish Druids, the Aryan race, roots of astrotheology, spreading civilization once again. All that we know about this ancient race comes from the Greeks and the Romans. There is a great site by Bruce Linnell that lists almost all of what the ancient Romans and Greeks said about the Celts. The earliest Greek and Roman authors often referred to Hyperboreans and Cimmerians. Some modern authors consider these to be possible references to Celts. Hyperboreans were originally a mythical sacred race who, often associated with god Apollo, they dwelt at the ends of the earth. The word Hyperborean means beyond the north wind, and lived long lives in peace with themselves and their neighbors. Their legends are later intermingled with British, Northern Celtic, and Germanic cultures by ancient authors. The name Cimmerian has many meanings. To the earliest ancient Greeks, they were a mysterious race who lived in the mist and darkness at the ends of the earth. But later Greek authors clearly described the movements of a group of people they called Cimmerian. Now, I believe the earlier ones knew a deeper truth of a true history that actually happened, and then the later authors were just propaganda authors. If you want to see all the references to Hyperboreans and Cimmerians and what Roman Greek authors talked about, the link is in the description. This is all reference to the Aryan race, but what does Aryan mean? From Michael Tersarian. The name Ireland was originally rendered Ari, or Arya-land, one of the main connotations of the term being Western land. Another was land of the pure, or noble ones. The Druids were Aryans. This word is usually narrowly construed to signify race. However, the term also refers to spiritual caste, It is also the true name of Ireland, correctly rendered Ireland, or Land of the Aria. The term can be correctly rendered Iri, signifying the earth goddess of the ancient Druids. Etymologically, Ari and Eri are found in roots and terms in names such as Aria, Terra, Tara, Mari, Hera, Benares, Armenia, Armeric, and aristocracy, etc. Names such as Tara, father of Abram, and the place name Haran in Irish, Haran being synonymous with Aryan. The epithets Iberian, Hibernian, Ibrides, Iberisum, Old Name of New York, and Hebron are equivalent to the Latinized Hyperborean, connoting Ireland and the Arctic homeland. This is the true meaning of Eber, an ancestor of the Israelites. Place name and personal name, Heber and Hebrew. The priest of the Nile, the Eberu, took their name from the illustrious northern western area, as the great Anna Wilkes tells us. Hyperborea was unquestionably the lands of the Druid and Bard, whose religion was identical with that of the later Hebrews. The very word for a Druid Bard is equivalent of Boredes or Boreas, meaning north. The Iberu were but one contingent of Westerners living in the Middle East. Related groups were the Luvians and Shemisu Hor, the disciples of Horus. Evidence of their presence has been well and truly suppressed. So this aria meant a lot to the ancients. And we can also see how Hyperborea is really connected to Ireland and the ancient Irish. We have nations like Syria, Iran, Armenia, all paying homage to these noble peoples who at the top of their society valued things like being moral, spiritual, philosophical, being a full mind, things today we take for granted. The Sanskrit definition of Arya is noble, not ordinary, valuable, precious. This isn't about race or control or power. It's about understanding who we are and our past. Now, here's some mainstream Irish. Here's what Wikipedia says. What is known of pre-Christian Ireland comes from references in Roman writings, Irish poetry, and myth and archaeology. While some possible Paleolithic tools have been found, none of the finds are convincing of Paleolithic settlement in Ireland. Let me give you a hint on why nothing is found. From Connor McDarry. It was held by the leaders of the Roman Church and state, they were practically one, that all power should be centralized in the head of the Church, who was also emperor of the state, and any and all religious institutions which in any way conflicted with this ideal were to be done away with. For this reason, the mystery cults were suppressed, and initiation into the ancient or esoteric mysteries where no religious establishment, worship, or practice would exist, which would draw and hold men to it other than the Roman state church. And besides, is the study and preparation necessary for those who were selected for initiation into the higher mysteries, was such as to develop a highly philosophic and spiritual state of mind. Such study and preparation did not comport with the object which the church rulers had in view. Such minds would not yield adherence to a mere political and idolatrous church, whose doctrines were, in the main, intended for the multitude. Such minds could not be dominated by a political or mercenary priesthood. They were enlightened men, and they stood in the way of the church project. Therefore, the institutions were produced such. Men were to be suppressed. Now, I believe that there are multiple levels to what we know as Druid. We have the ancient Druids, then we have the Jewish Druids. That will have to be for another video, but keep in mind with some of the stuff that I'll be saying that there's definitely a connection between the Jews here. The ancient Druids were the ancient priests who preserved the wisdom from Atlantis. This is where the source of astrotheology begins. I don't know how many of you guys know about Newgrange, but it's an amazing site. It's older than Stonehenge and the Great Pyramids of Giza, and guess what? We see the same thing, a massive structure that is aligned with astrological alignments and symbolism. Newgrange is even more amazing that it's still perfectly aligned to this day with the winter solstice. From Julius Caesar. As one of their leading dogmas, they include this, that souls are not annihilated, but pass after death from one body to another. And they hold by this teaching, men are much encouraged to valor through disregarding the fear of death. They also discuss and impart to their young many things concerning the heavenly bodies and their movements, the size of the world and our earth, natural sciences, and the influence and power of the immortal gods. Caesar is telling you where Rome and Greece got their knowledge of the planets and gods, and their sciences from. You see all these Greek historians mixing truth with deception. It's the only way to really resonate with the mass of humanity's subconscious. Thus, with a shrewd conception and understanding of policy, Rome gave to the Irish Bible a history and a geography which, through her efforts to give it an appearance of truth, as a record of actual occurrences and facts, have heaped woe and misery upon mankind. To perfect this project, Rome preached and instigated the wars of the Crusades. This was for the express purpose of getting possessions of the countries of the East and to give names to places in this country called Palestine or Syria to correspond with the allegorical and cryptic names, Irish names in the Bible, and Irish names they are still to this day. And this is the main reason why the Irish Roman Catholics of our day were not encouraged to read or study the Bible. It was because of this, too, that the Irish language was mainly suppressed and all but destroyed. To carry out the scheme of keeping the knowledge of these things from the world, Rome has conveniently invented a list of fictitious names which the priests assumed in order to set up authorities supposed to have lived in the periods of time assigned to them, and who would be cited by posterity to verify the falsifications which would have established this fact. Such are the names Herodotus, Manetho, Berosus, Josephus, Irenaeus, Origen, and Eusebius. These historians appear in the light which we have today of her doings as so many fictitious personages to whom to attribute writings which were done by the Roman and British priests of much later times. They were very busy concocting history after the English invasion of Ireland and the conquest of the Irish Church, and right away in the early part of the 13th century, they set about altering the Irish Bible to make it their own, by Conor McDarry. The Druids were the last force to resist Rome. This makes sense why we don't understand this part of our past. But the ancients knew about this. That is what the myths of Hyperborea, Atlantis, Lemuria, we all knew that gods came down and gave us knowledge. Now, Ancient Aliens is happy making you believe that it's ETs, but I'm going to go down an alternative route and say that no, we've been cycling in an infinite loop, and every time we become extremely aware or become enlightened beings on this earth, cataclysm strikes. And the Romans decided that they could prevent this from happening by removing all traces of our past and by creating a false history in cosmology and religion, all in combination to put us in historical amnesia, with no capability to use our mind to understand what reality we're in. It's truly a mess. Who are the Celts? Celts have an Indo-European tongue, so mainstream history assumes that the Celts migrated from the Black Sea. They migrated to dominate most of modern Europe, from 1400 BC to 600 BC. They say that they moved in northern Spain and they somehow preserved their culture here, and then they called it Galicia. I find it funny that they say they don't know what it means, when I believe it's a later derivation of Gaul, Gallia. If we look up Gaul in a Gaelic dictionary, it says, a lowlander, a stranger from Gallus, a Gaul, the Gauls being the first strangers to visit or be visited by the Irish in pre-Roman Roman times. Gala, a bitch. Gast, a bitch. G is possibly for gaslit. Pot has deduced Spanish gago, greyhound, which however is founded on Canis Galisas. If you see my other videos, you would know that this is a common theme in history. When intruders take over, they come in, wreak havoc, and then rename the land. People, and then after a generation or so, the people don't even know where they came from. The people from Galicia are told their origins lie in the Black Sea, when really, some strangers came in and made this land their bitch. Also notice how Galicia has fantastic architecture. From the Odes of Pindar. Summary. Hyperboreans are described by Pindar as an ancient sacred people who worship Apollo and live without illness, old age, or strife. In his Pythian Odes, Pindar says they live in a place which cannot be reached by ships nor land, but in Olympian Odes. He seems to indicate they are associated with the source of the Danube. According to Wikipedia, the Danube was once a long-standing frontier of the Roman Empire. Is Pindar saying that these Hyperboreans moved east and they are the true source of the Danube? I can't find anywhere on Wikipedia saying that this is a man-made river, but if what Pindar says is true, then this once great nation had this river surrounding its entire border? The Celts are not the true original Irish. Plato describes the Celts and Iberians as drunken and warlike. Celts occupied land in modern-day Eastern Europe, Greece, Spain, Northern Italy, Western Europe, England, Wales, Scotland, and Ireland. The Celtic people have mystified anthropologists and historians for generations. They were a non-literate culture whose history and literature was preserved through oral tradition. The origins of the Celts are shrouded in mystery. I found these quotes from this one article where this researcher was discussing whether the term Celts was even used in Ireland before the 1800s. Whatever about whether the Celts ever did come to Ireland, what is undeniable is that medieval Irish and Welsh writers said absolutely nothing about a Celtic past, nor did they suggest that the Irish and Welsh people had an affinity for one another based on the shared heritage. In other words, before the year 1700, no one called the Irish and Welsh Celts. So where did the idea that we are Celts come from? My own research has shown that the word Celtic rarely appeared in Irish newspaper in the early 19th century. Suddenly, the regularity of its use increased dramatically in the 1840s, it doubled again in the 1850s, and by the 1880s, archaeological excavations in Switzerland and in the 1850s revealed evidence of an ancient Celtic civilization that had once dominated Europe. Over a 20-year period, the Celts were established as a biological fact by scientists, given a glorious past by archaeologists, a sense of scholarly gravitas by linguists, and identifiable personality traits by literatures. This made Celticness attractiveness to nationalists in Ireland and Wales, and by the turn of the 20th century, most people in both countries believed they were Celts. So I'll end with the Celts here, but I want to just basically end with there's definitely a cover-up of a once great nation. And I think the real hint, or what we should be looking towards, is the Hyperboreans. Hyperboreans and Tartaria. The Hyperboreans must be the ancient empire that we are calling Tartaria today. Who else could come to such great knowledge? I would say it's the people who are not dying and living extremely long lives. These Hyperboreans must have a connection to the Irish. It must be that the ancient Greek historians fantasized these ancient peoples to make it seem like a legend. This is what I think. The Irish, after the flood, spread east, and at this time, they had advanced technology and advanced spirituality. So much so that they had long lives. The book Natural Magic talks about Tartaria having these large brass wind instruments that would make a pleasing sound for the whole city. This sound, I believe, had a magnetic effect on the body, allowing them to live long lives. These people created these great cathedrals for healing, energy, and learning. I think at this time the ancient Hyperboreans, or Irish, had spread out to all around the world, mixing with multiple cultures. Let's look at this map again. I believe these massive cities were generations after the Hyperboreans spread out to East Russia, India, Africa, and from here, I'm positive that a variety of different cultures sprung and mixed. I think that the Celts, after the cataclysm, were different confused tribes that were spread out all over Europe and the Middle East. Myths arose talking about the mythical origins of this great empire, and that is why these tribes made their way back to Hibernia, or ancient Ireland. These savage, barbaric tribes, as portrayed by the Greeks, are what mainstream history says the Irish came from. Not just that, most of Europe. When the truth is, it's lies mixed with truth. These invading tribes back into the homeland probably did take a lot from the native culture, and that is why this lie works, because there is a similarity, but nonetheless, the ancient Aryans or Hyperboreans were not savages. So why is it that we have been fed this lie? Well, the Phoenicians are this Hyperborean race. The Phoenicians are just a cover name for these Hyperboreans as they spread east through the generations. This also got mixed with other tribes, so there's a lot of confusion. This explains why the Phoenicians were so advanced and where they got their writing system from. Not only that, but where they got their knowledge of architecture. Phoenicians and the Hyperboreans. Until the late 1800s, most of the info on the pre-Hellenistic Eastern Mediterranean came from the Hebrew Bible. The glory of the Phoenicians is in the Bible. They are claimed as ancestors by snooty Lebanese, and they were ancient millionaires who shipped purple dye and cedar wood to the world's wealthy. Phoenicia.org. Let me repeat this quote. They also established priesthoods and gave alphabets to the races who were unenlightened in such matters up to that time. Ireland is the country in which the arts and sciences were first discovered and developed. To this country, the Greeks applied the term ogia, a term which was never given but to the very ancient, and it is from the Irish, Aryans, that the Greeks traced their descent. In mainstream history, the Greeks got their language from the Phoenicians. To me, this is some type of distraction from the real origin. They want you looking to the Mediterranean for the origins of the Greeks. I can tell you why. It has something to do with the Jews, but that has to be for another video. Well, the first thing to clarify when it comes to the Israelites concerns the origin of the name Israel. This name was not original to the people mentioned in the Bible, whose center was Jerusalem. None of the cities of the Hyksos pharaohs and their people bear the title Israel. The term originated with the Irish and with the Phoenicians, who had erected prominent and sophisticated cities all over Eastern Europe, Asia Minor, and the Levant. The Phoenicians were originally of Irish extraction, and they had some of their most important bases in Ireland and Scotland. Not only were the Phoenicians expert sailors, but they made good use of land bridges that once existed between Scandinavia and England, and between England and Ireland. Michael Tessarian. The Phoenicians were indeed extraordinarily gifted men. They were one of the first races to devise and employ a sophisticated alphabet, construct great cities and temples, make paper for writing, and sail the seas of the world. The fact is, they were the Arya, or adepts of the highest order. They were master architects, astrologers, shipwrights, mariners, healers, and scientists. We believe the Phoenicians were, like the Scythians, originally from the West. They preserved the secrets of the megalithic construction and many other ancient arts. They may have been the original builders of many temples along the Nile. This is what the Old Testament hints, and what a great deal of miscellaneous Masonic literature suggests. Quote, as our scholars have failed to see the difference between Israel and Jews, they have completely confused the issue. And when they speak of ancient Hebrew, they mean Phoenician. The oldest Hebrew manuscripts date from AD 489, is a roll and was found in the Karaite synagogue in the Crimea. The Targum's version of the Old Testament does not date any earlier than the Babylonian captivity of the Jews, and it was written in the Aramaic Chaldee language, and even of that version there is not BC in existence. So when our scholars speak of the ancient Hebrew of the Israelites, they mean Phoenician evidently, for they never have seen it written on any scroll, only on the Salam inscription, the Moabite stone, and the Phoenician engravings of the East, the Mediterranean, southern Russia, and Europe, particularly in Britain. The early Phoenicians were known to have referred to themselves and their kings by the term Got or Goat, signifying goats. This is where we derive the words God and good, and where place names such as Gotland and Goatburg, etc. come from. The Goths were called the Goths by the Romans. These Caucasian Goths considered horned animals such as stags and goats to be sacred symbols of their people and gods. This goes with what Moon was saying about the ram in Tartaria Part 1 and the connection to Egypt. Quote, it was they, Phoenicians, and not the Israelites, who were the creators of the alphabet, the great temple builders and the world's finest seafarers, astronomers, and adepts. What they still hesitate to accept is the Irish origins of Phoenicians. This fact has been obscured due to the geographical dispersion of the Phoenicians. As we have said, the dispersion was a necessity after the age of catastrophe. In summary, I do not think that the ancient Irish, or the Hyperborean peoples, should be considered Celt. The term Celt has been used for many things, to imply that the ancient Irish came from the Black Sea and were olive-skinned thousands of years ago. I'm not buying it. The Hyperboreans are the true builders of these amazing buildings and are the source of where we should look in the origins of the Tartaria conspiracy. The people that we know today as the Phoenicians are these Hyperboreans, many generations after spreading east. Let me also clarify on what I'm not saying. The Tartars are not the Irish. I'm saying that they have their origins in the Irish, or the ancient Hyperboreans. Great Tartaria must have been a product of these people. If you watched my last video, I talk about Phoenicians, churches, sound vibration, and high tech. And I honestly think that these Hyperboreans are connected to all that. They didn't die, they lived in peace, they had great wisdom. I think these are all attributes that lead to an advanced civilization. And then, it was stolen. I think this stuff is important because if we open our mind and try to imagine this as a possibility, then what does it say? Can we learn to do this again? Can we learn to heal our bodies, master our minds, master reality? What if we could live for hundreds of years? And don't say it's crazy, because when you think that, what it really means is that deep down you have a foundation of what reality is, meaning you truly believe it to be a certain way. And the reason you think this is so crazy is because it would mean that reality is not what you thought it was. Well, I'm willing to argue that none of us really have a clue what reality is. We should really let go and just research, trust our intuition, and work with others to come to a conclusion, because otherwise, we're just perpetuating the dark ages. Well, thanks for watching, and let our minds be unveiled.
Let go of everything you think to be true. Relax the mind and ask the question, do I truly understand what this reality is?
Alright. That was alright. Alright, so, alright, let me see something real quick. Alright, let me get rid of that other version of me there. I don't know if that's gonna go away. The comment. Get rid of that. What's up?
It was all right. Yes, it was. Yeah.
Where is it? Yeah, they're trying to dick me around over there on Odyssey Singe. It's like telling me maybe we'll see if will do it here. It should. I mean, I don't know why. If not, I'll just play it.
Singe's new
Yeah,
thumbnail.
downloads are currently. Yeah, that sucks. It's not. It's not gonna let me. It's not gonna let me like download it. Singe. It's telling me downloads are currently disabled. It's never said that to me before on Odyssey. All right, but I'll still play it. That sucks. We'll have to get another version of it. I need a copy. Take us off the screen.
The world of science cares about you. Eureka! We found it. With the tools of science, we have invented. Yes, hand sanitizer. But not just any hand sanitizer. This hand sanitizer was developed and approved by the Dark One himself. Here are a few of the things our product can bring you.
The music's all happy when it says it's on meeting.
Go. Yes.
Dude, I'm about died.
That's a good
Thank
one.
you.
That's a good one.
Thank you. I'll get better at it.
All right,
Bring it back.
hold on. Let's do it again. Nope, they tried to get me. They tried to get me on that one. It wasn't.
No.
I went to go back and it was something different. I'm not falling for that game. I'm not playing that game with them. We'll get back to it. Oh, here it is. Here it is.
Logan, you gotta watch it. Watch.
I gotta take you guys off the screen.
The world of science cares about you. Eureka! We found it. With the tools of science, we have invented. Yes, hand sanitizer. But not just any hand sanitizer. This hand sanitizer was developed and approved by the Dark One himself. Here are a few of the things our product can bring you.
Okay. Now Ray has to describe to me another one.
What? Now you need something else to make? What's
Is that exactly?
what's
I
the?
tried to do it exactly like you described.
Where's all that noise coming from? Is that you?
It could be. There's all kinds of people and there's
It,
dogs and
it sounds like you're in a
there's
train
bands.
station. It sounds like you're in a train station. Oh no,
I'm
it
in
went away.
Grand Central Station.
It went away. What happened?
Grand Central Station.
That's weird.
Hey, I found a Mandela effect in an old radio show where they say,
no, it wasn't you at all. It was Odyssey.
Ray?
Playing. Yeah, go ahead.
Ray, I found a Mandela effect in an old radio show where they say, what's the institution? Institute?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, they say Smithsonian Institute.
They do?
Yeah, in an old radio show. I have it saved.
Save it. Yeah.
It's like from
you have it
1937 or something.
If you want, we can play it like toward like when we're getting through it. We're moving along. It's already like 4 in the morning.
I don't know.
You have to.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll have to like.
Hey, Ray, happy 420 to you, Ray.
Oh yeah, it's 4:20 here.
Happy 420.
Yeah, it is. Okay.
Play.
Let's hopefully I don't fall asleep during this one.
So Ray,
what
I tried to make that video as close to your description as possible.
Yeah, the video is awesome. I just wish Odyssey would let me download it so I could put it in the thing. It probably will tomorrow. It's probably because you just uploaded it. I don't know.
It was close to what you described. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually hilarious. It's gonna be good. We'll play it. We'll play it a lot. I might even. I don't know. I might even try to. We should try to upload it to YouTube.
Welcome.
You get some more. I can do that right now. Yeah.
You show these 3 maps today. One is from 1595. This one here is from 1606. Let's see, this one is the 1595, and this one is also 1606.
But right now I gotta go to bed.
So I want to focus
Thank you
on
guys.
a few different points.
Give me more ideas.
First of all,
I will.
An interesting point here is we have Greenland with no ice. And that's pretty interesting to have charted mountains and rivers. And even right here, we can see some towns. 1 town, 2 towns. That's how they mark their towns, as you can see in Iceland here, which is spelled island at the time. Many towns, and totally ice-free. And again, this would be 1606. And yeah, you get an idea of what the towns look like, what the forests look like. And what I wanted to focus on was this little island here called, it appears as if it's called Freeland here, but at times it's called Friesland. Or like Friesland, maybe. And you can see how many towns actually there are in Friesland. I mean, this is not some imaginary town. Now, if we jump over here, we also see Friesland with many towns. Iceland, still many towns. Greenland free of ice. And if we jump over to this map from 1606, we can see it here, Friesland, and here it has the S. And this map shows up really crisp. So here we have Greenland, Groenland, Iceland, again spelled with I-S, land. And here it is again. Now if we jump over to this map, a modern day map, which of course is a little exaggerated, but there is no sign whatsoever of Friesland. I mean, like, none, not even close. And I'm just going to focus on 3 maps today, but hundreds can verify this. Now, was these towns in Asia, or what we call Asia in modern times. Now, Asia would be up here, and over here we would have Europe, and Sweden, and Finland. Right here we have Russia, and in these times Russia was called Rus. And this is shortly after the name was Tartaria. So already we see Tartaria replaced with Rus. But what I was going to focus on was these parts of Asia, which we would now call Mongolia. And just to have a reference, let's see what it looks like on this map. A little smaller. So yeah, we're going to be talking about this area. Upper Siberia. No, not Mongolia. I was totally wrong. Sorry. So yeah, this is just Siberia and very remote. I mean, you know, Moscow is over here by Europe, and most of the towns are in this lower area. And I mean, when you're talking, this is like equivalent to, you know, our Alaska, but much bigger and much more. And so yeah, let's have a look on the old map now of this region. And we see many towns amongst these mountains. Here and here a bigger one that appears to be a castle. Smaller but still substantial, and even something here. I'm not sure what that is. It's coming in a little grainy for me. And here we have Tartar Wild. These are the Tartar cities. Now let's jump over to the very same same maker. By the way, this is Mercator. Again, this map of Mercator is very, very similar. Also of 1595. But what we can see... Sorry, I was having an issue. Now what we can see is in this northern part of Asia, we have 1 and 2 towns in this region where we had about half a dozen before. We still see this strange thing. I don't know if it's a figure of a man or a statue, but now he has no color. And yeah, much less activity. Much less activity as we saw in this earlier version. You see, Friesland, Mercator always felt it was important to put Friesland in his maps. I mean, you know, you're pretty limited here. He has 4 spots, and Friesland is zoomed in, whereas typically it is here. You can see it's it's not even very small. It's a fair size island. It's about half of Iceland. So yeah, again, here it is now in this later version of a 1595 map. And really, again, this is all about an 11-year change from 1595 to 1606. And here we now see nothing. We see ghosts, ghostly shells of towns, but not significant, not like we see in these maps when we look at Friesland or in this one. Very significant town activity. It's very clear, and he puts this in the corner of his map, and then we see this. And there may be one here, or maybe, but really they've become ghosts. And so next, I want to focus on this very most obvious part of this map of 1595, which is this. I mean, this is absolutely amazing. This North Polar region. And again, Mercator gave us this map. I mean, maybe not this exact version, but when we started using this map, this is Mercator who gave us this. And he's a very respected map maker. And we can't assume that he was a fool and put this island here with great detail. And here in the center is Rupus nigra, is what he calls it. And this is the magnetic black rock, as it's been described in the text that we do have. I mean, there's a lot written about this, and obviously there's map making, and we can see this in hundreds, if not thousands of maps. Even in this map, we see it. We see it in this version. And this map maker's name was Paulus Marula. And this island appears to be gone now. Just a little tip shows up on maps these days, or Google Earth, this Nova Zemla. Just a little piece of it, and it even has that name still. But definitely this North Pole is gone. And yet, up to a certain date, we always had this. And here, if you look to the left, we have Greenland. And Greenland almost connects in most maps. And then we would have Iceland right here. And in this map, we cannot see Friesland. And it would be off right about here. So, this North Pole. Here we have Pygmies, a region inhabited by Pygmies. Now this, I think, is written in Latin. And these rivers, and as it's been written, and again, I don't have the writings here, but I've heard there's a lot of information, and these rivers were said to flow inward. I think maybe one or two flowed outward and one flowed inward, but it was as if it was a drain, and sailors would get pulled in, and it was very difficult to get out. And really fascinating. And only 11 years later, we now see a portion of this pygmy portion missing. It's missing, it's been faded out, and these islands have changed right here, which pretty much, you might be able to, regardless. Here's the Nova Zemla that I was talking about. And yeah, these islands have completely changed. They've been redrawn, and pretty much some things are just gone. Some parts of it are completely gone. And so the next thing that I wanted to focus on was something on this map, actually. And I'd like to do another video more on the Americas, North America. But I found this really fascinating, how right by where Chicago might be, we have Shilaga. And we have a town. Again, we see a town on the river, and in all maps, this region here is always Shilaga. And to me, it always seemed like it was very much like Chicago. But here again, you can see the North Pole in this map as well. And Iceland is called Island. And we can see it here, Iceland and Greenland. And here I believe we can see Friesland. So Friesland is still here. And even another island. It's pretty much close to the east coast of Canada. And you know, I encourage you to pull these videos up and study them for yourselves. I mean, they're really, really fascinating. And especially these areas where, you know, if you look on Google now, you know, I mean, what are you going to get when you look at Greenland? Here's what you're going to get. And I don't really think this, we're seeing what we're seeing. I think this is just kind of imposed over. I mean, this doesn't look, and I've played around with Antarctica, and you'll see pure ice, and then if you zoom in and allow it to load a little bit, and it's doing it a little bit here, things will load. And I've actually pulled up lakes and green mountains in Antarctica, and I've done the same thing with the deserts in Nevada, where it looks like just a bleak, white kind of tan desert, and then you zoom in, and there's all sorts of amazing things. But yeah, I find it fascinating that, you know, these older maps completely show all the rivers, and I mean, we get a better picture of what's really going on from these older maps than we do from these Google images, that's for sure. I mean, here we can see Iceland. Now, let's note on this map how this little town right here, called Saxa, next to Skull Bolden, beautiful castle of Skull Bolden, has three what look like towers, three skyscrapers. And if we jump over to this version, down here, we again see these three skyscrapers. Two mid-size and one larger than the others, and this Skull-Holden castle. Now I find it really interesting that if we look at where the ice is, it appears to me as if the ice is sitting right on top of this area. And once again, let's have a look. Right where that would be. Boom. But again, giant chunks of missing. I mean, when we looked at those older maps, there were towns all over Iceland, and it was completely ice-free. And that's not what we see now, and we certainly don't see our little island of Friesland, which was half the size of Iceland in thousands of maps going back as far back as map making goes. And I find it really fascinating. And of course, our North Polar region is completely missing. And I don't know. I mean, I think, what are we really looking at here? I mean, what has Google given us? But I find it interesting that there is no imagery here. But yet, if you go over here, there's a little trick that I've seen. I saw it on YouTube, and you can go to this little island here, pretty much in between Alaska and that Siberian region. You just zoom into this little island here, and all of a sudden it's like, I don't know if someone was leaving us this as a little clue, but this thing goes on, and I think it goes right to the North Pole, and I followed it, and I don't know if I'll do too much of it right now, and you can go back and do this yourself. But it appears, you know, I mean, this line looks more realistic than this blue. Now it turns into two lines. And yeah, I don't know if that's an error or if it was a little gift, But yes, I mean, I think that, and I don't know how much we can really zoom in, but yeah, there's activity here. There's action, as there has been shown in all of these older maps. So it's pretty fun, actually. I'd encourage you to go take a little trip down this line here, and it's very much full of more truth than I think what we see here. So that's it for today. Thanks so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment.
Alright, so that's one. Okay, what's this? North Pole erased on map. Okay. Let me see what I got to stop screen for a sec. Give me a second.
The plan might be too expansive. Over here getting new advances, while you over there doing dances. Show you how to move like a dance step. A simple nod of the head can get your man slept. Foreign whip with a foreign bit, bumping foreigner. Shooter got a bag for a body like the coroner. Told him follow my lead, I'm the forerunner. In New Orleans, but I sound like a northerner. We the truth like Sojourner. Been out the loop like 4 summers. Back in the booth doing more numbers. Taking out any oncomers. You were smart, you get a song from us, bitch.
Yo, I'm sick and tired of your trash rhymes. You need to leave the mic alone, I'ma tell you for the last time. Fully auto mag, ready to discharge. Your baby mom's filling up my fridge with her WIC card. I got game and I stay with a thick broad. Money and drugs in a container at the shipyard. My style is aggressive. This a murder message. I hold burners to serve purpose and murder peasants. Slide off and flee the scene with the heat smoking. Kick a nigga in his ass till my feet broken. You couldn't win, nigga, keep hoping. Got your grandmother frying me chicken while she deep throating. Your whole rap style is delicate. You soft, so I be insulting your intelligence. In my closet, it's a whole lot of skeletons. Cause it's the only place where I'm hiding evidence.
Taste the product like cop and yayo. Pass the chronic like hot potato. I'm in charge like I'm Scott Baio. Gotta win, we cannot fail. Clock bell, size of whales on them lock scales. Kill your dogs like some foxtails. They going down like a prop fail. Get them smothered like oxtail. Get your cap peeled back like a hell L. Sending packs through the snail mail.
Alright. Let's check this out for a second. Don't know if this is where this is gonna go. Do we have any sound?
No.
Diligently researched the ancient Tibetan. The secret occult societies that put Hitler into power diligently researched the ancient Tibetan, Indian, and Greek historic texts concerning prehistory, documenting the cultural, linguistic, and genetic similarities of these legends with the Nordic legends of blonde-haired, blue-eyed Aryan gods. The occult secret societies that influenced the Nazi ideology came to their conclusion that the Earth undergoes periodic global cataclysms and the vast portions of the inner Earth is hollow and has been inhabited within for many millennia by another unknown branch.
Well, What happened there? Hold on. That's weird. Why did they fucking mess? Did you notice that the sound just stopped?
Oh yeah, yeah. I didn't know what happened.
I know. I thought that it did that to me earlier too. When in the beginning of the stream. What the fuck? Maybe it's the video. Hold on. I don't think so though.
I think they're fucking with you.
I think they are. Cause look. Hold on. Let's see.
The Hyperboreans were the most highly
He must have cut it out.
technologically and socially advanced society that existed in the pre-flood age, having created large tunnels which were said to penetrate through the Earth's crust to permanently settle civilization under the Himalayas. According to some myths, they named their new kingdom Agartha, and its capital city was Shambhala, which was the mythical paradise below the Earth's surface. The Nazis believed that the Nordic-looking gods who came from the stars were a genetically distinct race from another world, who had Rh-negative blood type and did not evolve from the hominids in Africa.
One of the reasons the Germans were so focused on the master race, because some of these groups that were coming out from underground and presenting themselves to them as their forefathers were a lot of times blonde hair, blue-eyed, and very Caucasian master race looking. The master race that was depicted by these groups during that late World War I, World War II era, they had very much that look about them.
The Nazis believed that they descended from Atlantean white supermen, and they believed that they'd lost their powers. The Nazis believed that they devolved through dark races mixing with their Atlantean blood. So they were attempting to purify themselves again to get back to the original state, the Nazi God-man.
In the eyes of many Nazis, Atlantis was the mythical homeland of the Aryan race. They thought that they would be tall, blonde-haired, blue-eyed.
The Aryans, a mythical and superior race, had invented everything of value in human history. From agriculture to architecture, the creation of theater, and fine art. This great Aryan culture came to life thousands of years ago, an island continent they believed existed in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. To find a trace of these ancestors, the Nazis trained their sights on the Canary Islands off the coast of Africa.
They saw this as being sort of the southern edge of this sort of mythical Atlantean continent. And they also were really kind of focused on accounts of mummies that had been found on the Canary Islands that had blonde hair.
The mummies had been examined. They claimed the blonde-haired mummies were proof that Atlanteans had once lived on the Canary Islands. And most importantly, they were Aryans. Now that they had proof of an Atlantean fatherland, the Nazi scientists concocted an even more bizarre theory to explain its destruction and disappearance. It was called the world ice theory. As the ice melted, these massive glaciers receded. Atlantis was simply scrubbed away, buried under the water. But what happened to the people?
The inhabitants of Atlantis, according to this theory, then fled to various areas that were thought to be safe refuges. They would flee to Tibet, they would flee to the Bolivian Andes.
An ancient occult legend that tells the story of a continent somewhere in the North Atlantic. There lived a race of super beings who had fallen from grace through evil and vice. The land was called Atlantis. A great flood wiped these beings off the face of the earth. But before they could all be destroyed, certain priests escaped by boat. These escaped priests, believed by mystics to be the original race of Aryan godmen, who were said to be the ancestors of all Indian and European people, descended from the super beings of Atlantis, and that they had lost their powers by mating with mere mortals. The Nordic race did not evolve, but came directly down from heaven to settle on the Atlantic continent. Ancient immigrants from Atlantis had founded a great civilization.
In the high Himalayas. Here, survivors of the last cosmic catastrophe took shelter. This is the true cradle of the Aryan race.
In 1871, British novelist Edward Bulwer Lytton described a race that lived underground and sustained themselves with the Vril force, or bioelectromagnetic energy. They may have been the descendants of the Hyperboreans, inhabitants of Thule. The Hyperboreans were said to have harnessed the natural power of Vril to manipulate matter and energy, enabling them to extended lifespans and existing in what some might regard as a godlike existence.
It's fucking crazy.
My name is Robert Sepper. Thank you for sharing. See you next time.
Cool. I shared it. All right. So we got.
I've heard of the Vril before, but I've heard that they were bad.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, they're like demonic parasites.
Uh huh. They are bad. I'm not trying to say they're good. I'm just I'm just playing videos.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying because that guy was talking about them, and I'm like,
yeah,
that's not just
Well,
natural force from the earth or nothing like that. No, it's like some kind of demonic parasites.
I had no idea that that Hyperborea was going to connect to the Aryan Brotherhood or race or whatever you want to call it. But this is pretty crazy, you know, when my research takes me. The crazy places. All right, let me see. Playlist. All right, let me see. Let me see where we're at here. All right, posted. North Pole erased on map. We already seen that one, right? Let me see. All right, this one we already saw. Hold on, I just gotta dot my T's and cross my X's. All right, hold on a sec. That's so crazy. Man. Okay, moving down. Oh, I got so much shit that I put in that I'm like losing track of what I'm supposed to play next. All right. How long is this one? All right, let's do it. North Pole. So the one we just watched was North Pole erased on the map, right? We can get rid of that. All right. All right, let me see. Boom.
Was this realm created for us in the years 1611 to 1623 We see the introduction of Shakespeare and the Bible seeming to have been written in the same hand, and to this day some of the most glorious use of language, similar to what we see with everything in the past.
Yeah,
The
you
most
caught that,
wondrous
Bobby Marley?
works of art and architecture also coming out of this era, surpassing anything that we produce today. And it seems there is a hidden code of language to those with eyes to see and ears to hear, seeming to be the beginning of our time. And yet these early literary works would shape the future to our present date. What will we look at today? The North Pole and the southern reaches of our realm pertaining to the admiral bird, and we'll discuss lands beyond our lands, tying in with the reflection of the plasma moon, and if viewed from the right perspective, may be revealing lands of old, seldom spoken about today, and yet may exist just beyond the reaches of the average person. We'll also talk about Tartaria and compare the modern day definitions to those in the 1700s in a common day encyclopedia. And finally, we'll talk about Genghis Khan and who he may truly have been, along with an excellent comment left in last week's video pertaining to the question that is asked so often, being why, if all of this is true, don't the Native Americans tell us that any of these wonders were here, especially pertaining to North America? And we'll get to that in a bit. Welcome. I'm thankful for inspiration. I don't know where it comes from. I might see hundreds of mind-blowing things and not be inspired to share it. I usually attribute that to my laziness. And then something comes along and suddenly we feel like we must share. Again, I don't know why. But here I was just watching a video by Robert Zepper, always putting out fascinating content. And today he's sharing one titled Invading Antarctica, Secret South Pole Colony. And I've heard the story time and time again for years now. At first I was uninterested, and I began watching anyway. And before long, I realized this is one of the most fascinating things I could share, even though it's old news. Why was I not excited about it? I once had been, but perhaps we're all saturated with so much stimulus that even the mind-blowing becomes mundane. And so whether you've heard this before or not, let's review the story real quick. First, the Admiral Byrd flies over the South Pole for the first official time, discovers lands and tells us about lands beyond the lands. And everyone's very excited. Then he goes back in 1946 or 47, and this time they're looking for a secret Nazi base, we're told. This is called Operation High Jump. And we're told he does find this base, and he finds a whole lot more than he bargained for. all sorts of craft, what we would call UFOs, took down many of his planes, and he was forced to retreat. On his way back, he was interviewed by a South American newspaper before he would return to the United States, and he gave an incredible first-hand account of what he saw. And naturally, he was shaken up.
Who?
And even before returning to the United States,
Level Realm?
declared that defenses
Who's Level Realm?
should be put in place around Antarctica.
What
and
do you
begin
What
to
do you
prepare
mean,
for World
Daniel
War
Becker? Who mentioned
III,
me?
which will be fought with an enemy
Level Realm?
coming from this
You
region,
mean Iron Realm Media?
seeming to be another race. And upon returning,
Iron Realm?
he immediately became ill and was hospitalized and silenced, really
when he-
lending
hold
to
on, hold
the
on, hold on
idea
one second.
that the enemy was already with.
What do you mean I'm back? Yeah, Iron Realm? Yeah, what did they say? Josh, what was it, Josh? Josh is my friend. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't know I didn't know I went anywhere. What do you mean I'm back? Where did I go? I've been here every night.
With him.
I fell asleep last night,
And
guys.
absolutely.
I mean, I fell asleep last night on my own late night. Don't sleep on the late night. Ha ha ha. But you know what? It happens to the best of us, even me. Yeah, they mentioned me today. That's cool. Well, I'll mention them. Shout out to Josh from Iron Realm Media and all them over there because, they shouted me out. Right back at you. Boom, baby.
Fascinating.
Nah, I do. I enjoy their show, but they always come on like right after me in the morning, and I'm always sleepy. But I might show up. I might show up there.
A big missing part of the puzzle when talking about the control structure in the present and perhaps in the past.
Well, I'll get to the thing, Daniel Becker, at the end. I'm gonna play something, and you guys will understand.
This realm, of course, is off limits to us. The only treaty honored by most all nations, held for almost 50 years, keeping all people away, exclusive to scientific research only. In my opinion, unacceptable. Who are these people to tell us we can't visit this icy landmass? I'd like to see a grand protest. And I think what we find is wherever you are in this realm, if you go south, you'll hit a wall. And this wall will seem like a prison. But not the point of this video. This realm is off limits. And unlike this big white icy mass that they show us, is actually full of greenery and lakes and all kinds of wonders. But they don't want us to know that. Similar to what we see up in the northern regions on older maps. A glorious continent consisting of 4 parts and 4 rivers and a Mount Meru in the center. Shown on most all old maps, almost connected to the northern part of Greenland. And this too is a forbidden landmass. Here I think we have a better chance of having a peak, chartering some expedition. And finally, while talking about
chartering an expedition,
I want to jump over to this channel that I featured before. And this channel does something similar to WIM with the crater Earth theory. But in this particular case, the whole realm is depicted on the moon. A reflection of what is below, now seen above. And I'm going to keep this quick. And here is what we typically see. And you can see what he's done. Change the angle a bit. And we get this. Again, I want to be clear and back up and show you exactly what is on the moon. And now a reverse image, and we get this map. And here what we can see is the Americas and Australia way over here, Asia and Europe, and now he shows us all kinds of extra lands all around.
That's exactly what this is, Daniel Becca. Welcome to Insomnia Theater.
Ice wall, even depicted in this channel's map. And here we see Atlantis. And here a little closer, such a map would.
I was on Sailing Fan Man, and then I started this stream up.
Flight route.
I've been streaming since 9 p.m.
Lemuria.
What time is it now?
And Hyperborea in the center.
5 a.m. From
Really
9 p.m. to 5.
Not
9 to 5.
Different
so far.
From a lot
I'm doing a 9 to 5,
but
guys.
the fact that this map was created.
It's 3:05 here.
Image of
Well, I'm saying I started at 9 o'clock
really
here
astounding.
on Sailing Fan Man show.
And I salute this channel.
And now it's now it's 5 a.m.
And I'll leave the link.
And I'm
below.
still here.
Let me know
So
what you
I
think.
did a 9 to 5. I took a
And this was
little
pretty
bit of a
interesting
break in between, like
on
an
Stolen
hour,
History.
if that.
.net.
Yeah.
No.
9 to 5,
Posted
and we're gonna
last
keep going because I got
September.
more video.
And
I'm
he
not done
was
yet.
Showing
This is
how
just the beginning. We're just
the
getting started.
definition of Tartary in the Encyclopedia Britannica in 1771 is
It was a good.
most
Oh,
glorious youth
Oh.
depicted.
I lost it.
No.
There it is.
Posted last September.
Well, what I was trying to say, Jenny, was it was a good idea for you to put this, just stream this right to your channel. You know what I'm saying? Because like having to download it and all that shit.
To lie south,
Oh yeah.
Muscovy, and Siberia are
Well, I
those
haven't done a live
Shirkan,
stream on my channel
Circassia,
in a while.
and Dagestan.
Well, when you're on the show, we should. You just got to remind me to
Sea.
stream it to your channel. I never even think of it.
Tartars.
I don't know why.
Who
I mean,
lie between Siberia and the Caspian Sea.
For 2 weeks I was down. I probably could have streamed everything to your channel. I
Yeah, you want to hear something funny though?
I didn't even really mention it to you because I didn't really. I don't know. I was busy. I didn't really think of you.
You want to hear something funny though?
You've been busy. You've been busy too, I guess. Anyway, what's going on?
Yeah, but you want to hear something funny?
Yeah. What's
up? I guess because it's been such a while since I've done like anything live to my channel. When we were talking about it earlier, when I got off the phone with you, I had a panic attack. I was like, what is this? Got anxiety.
What do you mean?
I was like,
What
oh
do you
no.
mean? What happened?
Like
What
I
do you mean?
kind of had a little bit of a panic attack, know.
because you haven't been on a live stream in a long time.
Right, it's been a while. So like when it kind of like dawned on me, I was like, wait a minute, I just opened myself up to put it on my channel.
Yeah. You never know. You never know what I'm gonna play.
See?
So I was like, I don't know why I had that reaction. So I had to get a caramel.
India.
You'll be all right.
And lastly,
I think we're gonna
No, I'm good now.
I think this
who lie
stream will make it.
northwest
I
of
think this
China.
stream will make it through.
There we go. Encyclopedia Britannica, 1771. So here, telling us of the different types of Tartars and their particular regions. And down here in Wiki, simply
So this
a
is
great tract
Tartaria in the
of
encyclopedia,
land
dude.
and a primitive
This is from the encyclopedia.
Turco-Mongol people.
Tartaria.
No
In the-
talk of a great
Wikipedia.
nation
Wait up. Is
as
it?
we see
I thought he
in
said encyclopedia.
1771. Very fascinating. And here they go on to show the CIA declassified document I've spoken about before.
Yeah, I've seen this.
If it's true, a proof of the rewriting of history, less a tactic to affect the Americas in this case, and more so the Muslims, an effort to rewrite their history. And here, of course, is Genghis Khan in the eyes of the Western narrative.
It's
And
New
here we
Year's
see
Eve, yeah.
Genghis
It just
Khan
started.
in 15th
The countdown begins.
and 18th century books. And his wife. Here's some more. Some might say this is Jesus down here. But I don't think Jesus would bother with a crown or any worldly luxuries. Nevertheless, we're told this is Genghis Khan. Not at all what we saw up there on the top. And here is Timur, depicted by the West. And here we see him in 1402, or I 402. And it looks like he was the emperor of Tartary and died. I'm not sure. And I always talk about what may a Tartarian have looked like, dressed like. And this is all very unique of a people and time. And could he have been one of the 6 grandfathers? The one that was chiseled off, that I called the old wizard in a past video? One of the 6 grandfathers, or 6 kings, or Vikings, whatever you want to call them. They seem to hold a place in time. And of course, I don't know. This is really the first time I've come across this character. And Khan, as we've seen, meant king in Tartarian. But nevertheless, old important characters, not only depicted as different looking in modern times, but also unimportant. And I think there's a lot more to these characters in our history. And here was a very interesting comment by Wright Patterson. He says, I may have mentioned before that my mother's side of the family are Muskogee Creek American Indian. My maternal grandmother was the last full blood in our family. Those of us who are honest Indians will admit to you that our ancestors did not build all these mounds down here in southeast United States. They were built by an earlier civilization of taller, whiter-skinned people. How do we know? Because that information was passed down through ages. But many insist they were built by natives for whatever selfish reasons. And this is a very fascinating account. Many people ask or comment on the idea that if all of this research was true, Native Americans would have something to say about it. And sometimes the setting isn't right to just come out and say something. Where are you going to say it? Certainly not at home. Nobody cares at home. Not at the supermarket. Not on the bus. But somewhere like this, with a group of people in a small corner of a large platform, openly sharing and discussing these ideas without judgment or prejudice. And then truth has the right soil to grow. But this is just one person. Here he goes on to comment on how his family feel about this information. And he says, yeah, if you tell my cousins and uncles, they'll get all mad and call you a history rebuker because they've been fully indoctrinated and acclimated to believe everything they're taught. Such a shame. And we know this all too well with our own families and friends. And I had one more on this subject. We have a comment here by Ishmael, and he says the Native Americans did talk about the old buildings and how they repaired them after the originals left. Check out A Celtic Basque Civilization Erased from History on Stolen History. Always a favorite. We'll have to check that out. And also a book, To the American Indian by Lucy Thompson. So that's it. I thank you for joining me this week, and do have a blessed day. Please like,
All right. So we get that one. Hold on real quick. Now, it was this one I wanted to play next. No. Well, this is, we'll play this one too. Fuck it. Look at this. Falling Meteor, December 15th. What do you guys think? Real or fake? What do you guys think? Real or fake? They said
Falling
that
angels. Falling angels.
well, it doesn't really hit the ground. It looks like it just burns up. Look, watch.
Yeah. Maybe they are burning up. With fallen angels.
Yeah, cool, huh? I found this video and I said, fuck it. I'll play it. I'm not afraid to play it. Oh, they said they found this. Oh, I don't know about this. I don't know. Maybe they found it. No, I doubt it. I don't know. I don't know if I believe the whole meteor thing. Maybe. I mean, how are you going to prove that it's from Jupiter or Mars? Come on. I don't know. But it looked like a cool video. Okay. Anyway. Where was I at? Oh. All right. Exploring the North Pole. Moving on with the subject. Staying on track. Staying on track here.
This week we're going to the North Pole.
Yes, we are.
Followed by some heavy philosophy. Welcome.
Yeah, that looked like China. China, Daniel Becker, yeah.
And here we are, looking at the North Pole. Today, of course, most youth will grow up thinking there's nothing in the North Pole. Personally, I had globes as a child, as I'm sure many of us did, and my favorite globe was one that had raised continents. You could pass your hands over the continents, and to somewhat of an accuracy as far as elevation goes. These mountains would rise up and down, a big ridge for the Rockies, of course. And my favorite was the top. There was a nub or a continent at the top, no doubt. And I guess this would have been in the very end of the 70s or early 80s. And a very similar nub to what we see here in Mercator's map. But as if the whole thing had just been frozen over. But otherwise, a very similar outline. And also reminding me of a board game, or a kind of techno game, again in the 70s and 80s, called Simon, having these same kind of colors and these sections that you would press.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I'm getting a little off topic, but this map has always seemed very precise to me, showing Greenland with its mountain ranges, free of ice and snow and rivers, all named, and little
An
towns
SS
here
induction water
at the
boiler.
tip. In other maps, even more
Really?
towns.
Oh, but you need
in this
instant though,
one,
right? You need
we
instant
see
coffee,
two
or you can make
towns
regular coffee.
emphasized by castles
I don't have
in
anything
red,
right now. I ran out
and
of
not too far away,
filters and
we see
everything.
Russia depicted as Rus, full of castles
Yeah, instant.
representing cities.
I don't
Today
mind
we
instant.
just put
I mean,
a dot
I have a McDonald's
representing
across
the
the
city
street. I
on
could
our
like
maps.
walk over there and
And
buy a coffee
here,
for $1.
Iceland,
But
full of castles, again towns and cities, and even Friesland, an island half the
I'll
size
probably make my
of
coffee in a
Iceland,
minute.
which today they tell us is gone, no longer on maps. And why would you just put a fictitious island on a map and cover it with towns? Why go to such lengths? And why put this fictional island up at the top
Is this the one that we
left-hand
already
corner
watched? This one, right?
of this map?
We did.
Seems
Hold on.
like it must have been pretty real. And forget about this little island. What of this massive island? And as time goes on, the connection, or almost connection, to Greenland disappears.
I'm not
and
sure.
Eventually
This might
the
not be the same
whole
one.
mass of 4 sections, or 4 giant islands, disappear as well, as we see in the Google falsity. Their admitted composite digital map. And really, we don't need satellite. Here they tell us the Copernicus satellite, Landsat, and I don't buy it. I think you could just fly a plane over all this, and I don't think there are satellites up there. Recently they told us a bunch just came crashing down. They always laugh and say, oh, no problem. Very normal. And does this landmass really exist? Is there anything up here? This whole thing looks very manipulated. And I think we may be seeing the outline, and they have just done one of their little tricks.
The North Pole,
blotching it out,
Daniel Becker.
but we may be seeing a partial impression of it. Here we can actually see this line that we've looked at.
Yeah, it's a coil.
Amazing that it's coming in so clear. Usually I approach it from the other side, and it's the
I showed it a little bit at the very beginning of the stream, Daniel Becker. I showed what's under the flat Earth. I showed the hole in the middle. If you believe in the torus field and all that.
this line that somebody has left us, showing us what it really looks like.
I'm going to show more of it too.
And at some parts it looks a lot better. We can follow it for a while, and it's
Black
more
sun.
clear
I showed the
than
black
the
sun.
garbage that they give us here. This is all just a falsity. The whole damn chunk
Yeah.
is just a big falsity. All of this. And then here, I don't know why, perhaps because that's part of their deal, playing the role of evil, that they must leave a slice of truth available. And here I think that's what we're seeing here. And I touched on this years ago, and they still haven't removed it. So it kind of tells me that they are obligated to leave the path, or at least a little part of it, available. To leave the truth in plain sight. And you know very well you could show this to your friends and family and they would just shrug it off. Their eyes would glaze over and seem to go to a distant place. But nonetheless, we care in this community. And that's what I wanted to talk about. This is a channel that is actually not just planning, but is actually on an expedition to reach the 90th parallel.
All I know is
here.
if you
And
get
very
close to the
exciting.
North Pole, it'll
He
rip you
is
apart, I think.
somewhere around this pin, and his name is Ryan Zem. I'll give you a look at his channel.
Oh, here it
Get all
goes. Look.
this crap out of the way. Here we go. So he's on a mission to reach the 90th parallel, and he's charted out a route. Unfortunately, I have pictures of his route, but they haven't uploaded yet. I took him this afternoon. This is the chickens this morning, having a little drink, and one of them laid this beautiful egg this morning and just dropped it in a random place. Well, anyway, I don't have to show it to you. His route, I believe, is up here in the direction of the Black Lake.
I don't think he ever made this trip.
I wish I did have those pictures. And he's essentially planning on just trekking across all of this. Roads pretty much end. Here we go. So it looks like this is one of the last roads, this 905. And this is pretty extreme land here, just shredded. And I'm very excited for him. I think it's a great idea and exploration. I'm not sure if I think that it's the best route to take. Sorry, I'm really distracted. A lot of anomalies out here. And that's part of my point, is even if he takes a route that I really wouldn't take, I am certain he'll discover something. And for all we know, the landmass is actually closer than we even think. I think just to push forward in unknown territories, one is bound to discover something unknown. And who knows? But this really reminding me of Siberia and those northern regions, just shredded, just thick with swamps and almost looking like the land is floating on the water rather than the water being in the land, but just a mess, an absolute no man's land. And I think crossing through this could be disastrous. And I completely support an exploration to these northern regions. But walking through here, I think, may not be the wisest option. A wonderful journey and exploration just for the sake of it. But really, we need to get up higher, and that may require flying in to a certain point. And I have considered this for some time, what the best option would be to see if there are lands up here in the north. And my thoughts were to land in the most northern town or city in Greenland. What is going on in Greenland? I really know very little about Greenland. I'd like to go off on a tangent and research Greenland and really see what the deal is with the government and really see if I can just go there. If I can even live there, maybe. Maybe it's a paradise. And clearly we saw towns up here on the old map up here. And the tip of Greenland connects, or at least very close, to the tip of this pygmy island, part of Hyperborea. The whole thing surrounded by mountains, as if artificially made mountains. And this, I think, is the surefire way to determine if there are lands to the north of Greenland. And I think we can get to Greenland. It shouldn't be a big deal. And here, I think these little islands that they're showing us may be some of these. And what I've done is taken this program here, and I've been playing around with an image of Mount Meru, as we can see, and I've kind of turned it on its side and superimposed it in the center here. And I have Greenland to work with, and I'm trying to establish whereabouts this landmass would be. Is it so large? Is it perhaps smaller? But nonetheless, it's kind of still the same. We need to go to the most northeasterly point of Greenland, and from there go.
I think the moon map is legit, Daniel Becker. I think that the moon map shows a bigger realm. Yeah. And there's more land. And it's flat, but they got us in this little section where it might be like outside of the Garden of Eden or something where we live, the section we live in. I'm not sure.
Go north, magnetic north. Just fire up that compass. Of course,
maybe we live wherever they sent Cain.
We know that this rock in the center is said to be magnetic. And even our mainstream agreeing with this, but giving us a different story. And how interesting that lore tells us of this magnetic rock.
It's a lot
better than the scientific
according
story.
To the moon map,
honestly.
it's a lot bigger than what they're showing
if the
us.
core was magnetic, it just doesn't.
The moon map is my new map for navigating everything. Like, Just to go to the store, I use the moon map now.
It makes sense that on a globe model, we would have something pointing up at the top of the ball. If anything, it would point to the center or down, according to their model. But nonetheless, not the point. I do think we should be able to fly to Greenland. You know, people are just flying all over. And I would like to go to Greenland. What is the big deal? Perhaps I'll start a GoFundMe, and first I'll look into the cost of a ticket to Greenland. And even if we could simply get to this tip with a good high-powered camera or even a telescope, we should be able to see for 100 miles. And according to this old map, I don't think it's more than 100 miles to the next piece of land. So I think I'll leave it there for a minute. I did want to explore a little bit, but I'll reserve that for another time. When I start exploring, it could turn into hours. And I just found some really nice places, and I'd be willing to bet that there is not a bunch of snow up here. This is just BS. This is just scribbling out the whole landmass here. Just a joke. This is clearly a cover-up. I was just thinking about something that Howdy had said today. He was asking his viewers if anyone had noticed some kind of a shift. And the truth is, I have noticed a shift. This small...
I think whatever space is, Bobby Marley, is it's water. That's why, like, the first space shuttles that they tried to design were based on, like, submarines and stuff like that. And the Navy has like the Navy has like a space program. Why would the Navy have a space program? You know what I mean? Like, because it's water.
Smallest tasks have become very heavy. Kind of like things have been made into slow motion. The energy is very thick. I think the energies would be good for doing Qigong. This thickness. The thickness is referred to in ancient Taoist texts as the Qi in the air. Square foot more could I handle.
Alright, there you go. I'm done with that. That one's done. Alright. I got all the good information out of that one. Alright, let me see. What else do we got here? Here's one that I wanted to play real quick.
This phone, and then I'm going to show these people what you don't want them to see. They say the world's a globe, but the evidence doesn't cut it. They just give us cartoon pictures and everyone seems to love it. But the earth's a level plane, whether or not you want it. Take a look and do your research, I bet that you can't debunk it. 23 billion bucks, that's a hell of a fucking budget. Just to lie to everyone and successfully fool the public. If you wanna break away from your destiny as a puppet and research flat earth, but don't be upset when you can't debunk it. Really can't prove their theory. Come and get on my level. Something's fishy, these fools are shifty. Come and get on my level. They can't trick me, their lies are silly. Come and get on my level. It's a pity they treat us shitty. Come and get on my level. Hurry quickly, we must get busy. Come and get on my level. Yeah, it's risky, but just stick with me. Come and get on my level. Can you hear me? Please don't be dreary. Come and get on my level. Don't be whippy, you people really need to get on my level.
Cannot do better than this. This is Mother Nature.
Flat horizon everywhere. No one seems to notice. No one seems to care. Feel no movement.
It is a fact, not a theory, that bodies of water always seek and find their own level. from a pond, lake, or an ocean. The natural physics of water is defined and remain level.
The science of water is it's always level. The Earth is 70% water. We should be able to find curvature in the ocean. On land, land is uneven. You really can't, it's unpredictable land. You really can't measure curve correctly. Water is level. That's the science of water. Everyone's talking about science. The only thing that keeps the ball Earth theory together is gravity. That's the only thing. But gravity's never been proven. Gravity's like, oh, gravity's been proven. Look, gravity. No, gravity. Like you pick something up with gravity. No. Try doing that to a helium balloon. Then what? What is that? Helium balloon, an anti-gravity spaceship. What about a helium balloon? You can't explain that, can you? Why doesn't that drop? You drop the mic because the mic falls because it's more dense than the medium that surrounds it. Helium balloon is less dense, so it goes up. Anything that's less dense than the medium that surrounds it goes up. Anything that's more dense goes down. You drop a rock that you could fit in the palm of your hand, you drop it in the ocean, what happens? It sinks. You drop a ball, a tennis ball, what happens? It floats. It floats. It's right there in between the air and the water because it's more dense than the air, but the air that's inside the ball is less dense than the water, so it's right there in the middle. It doesn't sink. What is that then? There's a force strong enough to keep the ocean stuck to it, but it's not strong enough. It's not strong enough to affect a helium balloon or smoke or birds. Birds can do. If there was a force strong enough that kept oceans attached to it, we would be stuck to the fucking ground. We would be stuck to the ground. Come on, man. Come on. It's really simple. Things fall because they're more dense than the medium around it. They rise because they're less dense. Helium balloon, explain that. Explain that. Can't explain it. You just, gravity. Gravity. I can in any country, in any city, I can prove to you that water will always find its level. I could just take a bottle of water and I could prove, but no one could ever prove that a ball can, water that can stick to the exterior of an object. Water conforms to the interior of an object. It doesn't conform to the exterior. You can't.
Have we ever recreated gravity in science?
Neil deGrasse Tyson, he'll even tell you. He's like there's a famous video. He goes, well, when you talk about gravity, we don't know.
What is gravity?
You have no idea. Okay, next question.
Wow.
No, here's the difference. We can describe gravity. We can say what it does to other things. We can measure it, predict with it. But when you start asking, like, what it is, I don't know.
Science of water is it's always level. The Earth is 70% water. We should be able to find curvature in the ocean. On land, land is uneven. You really can't, it's unpredictable land. You really can't measure curve correctly. But in the ocean, we're 75% water. There should be, if the water is curved, it curves at a certain consistent rate. And they've already figured that out. They figured it out. If we're on a ball that's 25,000 miles in circumference, that's what they say. That's what school will tell you. That's what the textbooks tell you. We're a ball that's 25,000 miles in circumference. At that size, the ball should curve at a rate of 8 inches per mile squared, not 8/16. It's 8 and then 32. At that rate, no one disputes that. All the people battling, there's people that battle flat earth. There's all these battles going on. There's battles everywhere on YouTube. They all know the formula. And with that formula, at 100 miles in the ocean, there should be 6,600 feet of curvature. So, but how do Navy ships target other ships 100 miles away? How do they do that? They take pictures. They have a laser that targets other ships 100 miles away. It's impossible. Water is level. That's the science of water. Everyone's talking about science. It's flat. It's flat. It's the craziest thing ever. Flat Earth is the craziest thing, but guess what, dude? It's fucking flat, dude. And everyone is gonna find out eventually. No one ever gets into flat Earth and then turns back. You don't. It's like Santa Claus. When you find out Santa Claus is around, people don't go back and say, you know what, I'm starting to believe in Santa Claus again. No, it's the same fucking thing, dude. Water is level. That's the science of water. When we're talking about science. Water is level. That's the science of water. When we're talking about science. Water is level.
It is a fact, not a theory, that bodies of water always seek and find their own level. From a pond, lake, or an ocean, the natural physics of water is to find and remain level. It is a fact that the majority of Earth is covered in such level water, thus making it an unscientific theory to postulate that Earth is actually a gigantic sphere with bendy oceans curving all the way around it. It is an unproven, unscientific theory with no observable, measurable, or repeatable evidence to claim that bodies of water can somehow bend, cling to the exterior of shapes, and show convexity upon their surface. It is a fact, not a theory, that we are able to observe objects at incredibly long distances, far beyond what would be possible if Earth were a globe 25,000 miles in circumference, as we're told. For example, it is a fact that in Genoa, Italy, from just above sea level, it is possible to see the distant islands of Elba, Caprea, and Corsica 80 to 125 miles away. It is a necessary theory that the globe Earth must curve 8 inches per mile squared if it really be a ball 25,000 miles in circumference, as we're told. But based on such a theory, these islands would all be completely hidden behind thousands of feet of curved Earth.
Daydreamers, this is not a mirror, it's a glass of water. Why am I showing you a glass of water? Because this is one of the breadcrumbs that proves that the Earth is a plane. You see, if you fill up a glass of water to the top, you can tell it's perfectly flat. As a matter of fact, you know it's perfectly flat because of the perfect mirror-like reflection that you get from it. If there's any distortion whatsoever in the reflection, that means that there's a distortion or a curving in the water. But if it's a perfect reflection, that means the water is perfectly level. Now, water always finds its level. It always finds its level. And whenever we say water always finds its level, what we mean is it is always flat on the top. Now, if you can do this test at home, you can pour yourself a nice glass of water and you can see that it flattens out on the top. And then you can take it to another extreme and you can fill your bathtub. And when the bathtub is full, you can see that it finds its level. It's flat on top. You can go to a nice still swimming pool. You can see that the water is flat on top. You can go to your local pond or lake and you can see, sure enough, that water is flat on the top. Now, some people might be able to look at the glass of water and I might say, hey, is it flat on top? And they'd say, yeah, of course it's flat on top. And I'd say, okay, what about the bathtub? Is it flat on top? And they say, yeah. Well, what about the pond or the swimming pool or the lake? And they'll go, yeah, it's flat. It's perfectly flat on top. I agree, water finds its level. But then, whenever you ask them, is the ocean flat? That's whenever the gears, it's like a wrench is thrown into the system because their subconscious realizes, uh-oh, I've just been caught. Now I have to come to terms with something because if the oceans are flat, if the oceans and those giant bodies of water follow suit with the smaller versions, that must mean that the oceans are flat. And if the world, as I know it, is mostly covered in ocean, that means that the world, as I know it, at the very least, must be mostly flat. So, what I found is that people start backtracking when you get to the oceans. They go, oh, no, the oceans are definitely curved. They're not flat whatsoever because of the ball. And you go, well, what happened to the lakes? Well, yeah, there's probably some curvature to the lakes as well. Well, what about the swimming pool? There's probably, it's probably real small, but yeah, there's probably some curvature there too. All right. What about this glass of water? That is perfectly flat. Now, if this is flat, it stands to reason that it doesn't matter what the size is, it's going to stay flat and constant the bigger and bigger it gets. Just because it gets bigger and bigger doesn't mean all of a sudden it starts to be able to have magical properties to conform to the sides of a rounded surface. Water doesn't do that. Water remains and stays flat all the time. So anyways, this is just a simple breadcrumb. As you can see, if it's a flat surface, it gives you a perfect mirrored reflection. That's how you know living on a flat world.
It is part of the natural physics of water and other fluids to always find their level and remain flat. If disturbed in any way, motion ensues until the flat level is resumed. If dammed up, then released, the nature of all liquids is to quickly flood outwards, taking the easiest course towards finding its new level. From W.T. Lynn's First Principles of Natural Philosophy, the upper surface of a fluid at rest is a horizontal plane, because if a part of the surface were higher than the rest, those parts of the fluid which were under it would exert a greater pressure upon the surrounding parts than they received from them, so that motion would take place amongst the particles and continue until there were none at a higher level than the rest, that is, until the upper surface of the whole mass of fluid became a horizontal plane. If the Earth is an extended flat plane, then this fundamental physical property of fluids finding and remaining level is consistent with experience and common sense. If, however, the Earth is a giant sphere tilted on its vertical axis, spinning through never-ending space, then it follows that truly flat, consistently level surfaces do not exist here. Moreover, if the Earth is spherical, then it follows that the surface of all Earth's water, including the massive oceans, must maintain a certain degree of convexity. But this is contrary to the fundamental physical nature of water to always be and remain level.
Water is level.
Okay. So let me see, make sure I went over everything. Okay, we got this. All right. Let me see, I go over that. Yeah, I did that. Real quick. Yeah. I covered all that shit. What was this one? Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I just need to do one more thing. Let me see. Let's check. Class Taurus. All right. All right. Do one more about the Taurus. All right. I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna get out of here soon. So it's getting early.
You getting tired?
No, I'm not getting tired. It's almost like 6 a.m. here and my family's gonna wake up soon. So
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm actually getting tired. I'm kind of getting tired.
I'm gonna
Mostly because I'm
end it.
a bit stoned.
Yeah, I'm gonna end it after this. In a second. So I play this video
Okay.
and I'm gonna get out of here. I'll probably be back up tomorrow night. Daniel Becker, yeah, tonight. I need to get some sleep in during the day today. We'll see what happens. Yeah, I've been Mr. Super Sidewinder. I've been awake since Sailing Fan Man show last night at 9, and even before that, I was up all day. So I need to get my sleep eventually. Oh, you miss Sailing Fan Man? You should check it out. We had Rights Crispy, Mass Accountability showed up. It was cool. I crashed last night, Super Sidewinder, on the show, on my show. I slept for like an hour. It was like the best sleep of my life. It was great. I enjoyed it. But I got the show done tonight, though. Link to Sailing Fan Man? Yeah, no problem. We just did the show tonight. It was awesome. It's already got 600 views. There you guys go. You want to watch it later? So if you look close enough, you can see the Taurus field and everything.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I love this channel.
The
I see.
the one with the lightning,
Yeah.
the
He's
one on
awesome.
the left.
He's awesome. He's
That
my
picture on
friend
the
too.
left is really. That picture on the left is really nice.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to watch his videos a few times, and then you figure out what he's trying to show you. It's pretty cool. Dude, that's cool. You can even see the torus field in the roots. Toroidal field. Thank you, Daniel Becker. Yeah, muffin does sound good. I was just looking at that. I was thinking about getting one too. Terry Pratchett's version of our world. I'll have to check it out. I don't think I've ever. I think I've heard of Terry Pratchett, but I don't think I've seen it or whatever it is. All right. Before it plays something else on me. All right. I got something. All right. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna attempt something. Let's see if I can get this done. All right. All right. Random images. How long is this one? Yeah, I need a longer one. All right. Hold on, check stop the screen. All right. So this one I'm doing. I'm gonna take off. I'm gonna end the stream, but I'm not gonna end it yet. I'm gonna play some music and a slideshow at the end. if I can get it to work. Let me see what happens. This should be good. I hope. All right. I hope this will work. Yeah. All right. All right. So we'll mute this. Okay. This one has ads. I gotta watch out for that. But this should work. All right. All right. Come on. Come on. 3, 2. All right. Let's check this out. Let's see if I can do this together. Present. It might not. YouTube might stop me, but we'll see. If not, this will work out good, I think. All right. So everyone, thanks for showing up.